Book launch reception and short film premiere for Justin Edlam's motivational memoir, Love After, at Stuart Cinema Cafe in Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
Love after that. And the minute you get on your feet, somebody else needs to hear this testimony.
DMarsh 2020 Fall Collection takes over the runway at the High School of Fashion Industries. Ground beef pico de gallo with celebrity chef Patrick Simpson on this week's Inna the Kitchen.
Ground beef, pico de gallo.
Horace Andy, a Jamaican roots reggae singer and songwriter, on this week's Artiste Spotlight.
I always observe, and the youths them always begging.
You're watching Come Chat With Me, a Caribbean lifestyle magazine, and I'm your host, Ziggy Bless. Despite the challenges you face every day, you'll be convinced there is love after. Love After promises to help every reader overcome their pain, hurt, trauma, betrayals, and insecurities.
It's a lot. There's love after this divorce. There's love after this depression. There's love after your suicidal thought of not feeling like life is worth living anymore. There's love after that. And the minute you get on your feet, somebody else needs to hear this testimony that there's
This
love
event featured a short documentary about Jacinth's life, a motivational presentation, and Valentine-themed reception which included refreshments, free gift bag with Love After book, and more.
This one is for the book. 176.
I met Jacinth a couple of years ago on set of a movie, Diary of a Bad Man, where she played the lead actress, where she killed that role, for those of you who have seen it. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Amazon now. So I met her on set, and we've been joined at the hip ever since. We've traveled the world pretty much together. We won awards together. We've gone everywhere from LA to St. Lucia. And it's been just a journey. She's been my confidant, and she's been one of my best friends. And I'm just happy to celebrate her tonight.
The biggest thing that I hear from my clients, and I think is the fear of breaking up, is really the fear, this universal fear of being single.
I remember a year ago, you called me up and you said, "Sis, God dropped something in my spirit." And everybody who knows Jacinth knows that if God drops something in her spirit, she has to listen. He got to be obedient, and he told her she needed to write a book.
I wanted to do Love After to help someone else to turn their pain into their purpose, to turn their trials and tribulation into their testimony, to pay it forward like I have. And Love After, I did not know Love After was going to require so much transparency, so much vulnerability, and so much of allowing you guys to see me bleed out loud. And that was very hard for me, because there were times I was writing the book and I'm downloading, and sometimes, I'm waking up at 5 o'clock, and as soon as something drops in my spirit, I have to write about it. And there were certain things that I was writing and I was deleting because I was afraid. I'm like, I can't let nobody find this out. Not even my family knows. And I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't be at peace because I was being stubborn. And I had to put it back, and I'm like, you know what? My purpose is not about me. My purpose is to edify others outside of myself.
The question is, why is everyone so afraid of being alone? And in today's culture of just this instant connection and instant companionship and instant choices, it's so easy to keep putting off this experience of yourself. And the biggest thing that I have found for people is that after a breakup, the fear becomes, losing your future. Thinking that the only way you have a future is if you're tied towards someone else.
I see a lot of potential in her when she was young.
Very determined little girl. Always knew what she wanted from she was very young.
Jacinth Edlam, trust me, model, actress, producer, yeah, the list goes on and on and on. Now, Arthur, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this moment and milestone with me. I'm honored, man.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the book.
Well, like you said, I'm a mom, I'm a model, I'm an author, producer. A lot of people know me from Diary of a Bad Man, which was a film that was in the movie theater, which I was a producer and an actress, leading actress. I'm just here walking in my purpose and trying to pave the way and, so I can help others to do the same.
And where are you from, like born?
Born and raised at Jamaica. I come from St. Mary, Richmond, St. Mary, born and raised, you don't know.
So yeah, speaky, spokey, so you never said that from a long time.
I me come from, man.
True, man. So how it all begins, I mean, as an author from Jamaica, or since you're here, you're living here in the US now,
yes,
right?
I live here in the States.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when it all begins for you, when did you know that I really want to go into the book, author and the good stuff?
Actually, if you had asked me a couple years ago if I was going to be an author, I would say no. That's something I stumbled up on in terms of going through my journey of healing and restoration and trying to find my purpose. And then finding my purpose, I was like, I can use my pain into my purpose, and I can use my testimony to help someone else. And that's how come I started to journal, and the book came from that. And just helping people to find their purpose, how to find your identity, how to find your voice, how to come to a place of healing and restoration. Because I feel like you can't go to the next level and the next season in your life unless you're able to deal with certain things at the surface. Before someone picks up a gun to shoot themselves, it's all mental. Before you become addicted to anything, it's all mental. So I had to drastically change my mindset. So anything I can think of, whether it was putting stuff on my wall or post-it notes or vision boards or putting it under my cup, like I feel like throwing this cup across the room. Okay, you're right. I'm looking under it. You are enough.
When you stay too long and you run the love into the ground, and you end up not really resenting the person as much as you resent yourself for not being able to care enough about yourself to leave or care enough about the love that you had to know when to let go. And so a year ago, it was the first time that I did something that I had promised myself, which was I would leave when I knew that it was the right thing for both of us.
He was physically abusive to my mom. I'm talking about like pulling knife on her, trying to take her life in front of me. Come home drunk and high. He was in and out of jail. Sometimes I had to get involved, and I remember the last time he was on top of my mom beating her, and I ran and tried to get the biggest thing I can take, which was a frying pan, and I hit him upside the head and trying to jump on him, trying to take him off my mom. And then I had to call 911, and there were times where she just laying on the floor. I salute you, mommy. Growing up and not seeing a healthy relationship, it does affect your outlook on marriages. It does affect how you choose a spouse.
You said in the book, Jacinth, it is not selfish to put yourself first and to make yourself a priority. Don't allow others to make you feel guilty for prioritizing your well-being and your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. So make yourself a priority, people.
Love after is pretty much saying after you fall, after you've lost everything, rock bottom, that love after is within yourself. It's not about romantic love or anything. It's self-love, self-empowerment. And for me, love after was taking my power back. Love after for me was saying I am enough. And this is my time, and my time is now. So I want to be able to encourage someone else to get your power back and to know that you are enough.
Sankofa by DMarsh, the 19-piece collection embodies the years of mastered craftsmanship and comprised a mix of ready-to-wear to couture looks for the trendy and outgoing men and today's chic and stylish women.
presentation tonight is called Sankufa by DMarsh, which is inspired by my root, my ancestral root from Ghana. It's just about looking back. You have to look back in order to move forward. So the whole collection was inspired by looking back, looking forward. I tell people, as soon as you get the inspiration, from the inspiration comes the collection. So one piece could take 10 hours, because it's all hand beaded, but at the same time, once you have, they say when you're baking a cake, as long as you have flour, you can bake a cake. So once you have the print, the flow, the sketch, then everything else falls in place. This is the High School of Fashion, which is located at 24th and 7th. So, it's fashion. This school teach the kids from 12 all the way up to high school and move on to college to be a designer. So I love this place. Lots of history.
I work today for DMarsh Couture. He is one of my favorite designers from the Caribbean, a Jamaican, and of course I'm Trinidad and Tobagonian, so it was definitely an honor to be working for him today. I'm a swan. That's the best way to describe it. I felt like a bride on the runway, but like a fierce couture bride. As you can see, I'm wearing an oversized jacket. Typically, persons would say a man should be wearing, but I like the mixture because it's like a bride and groom in one. Like you're marrying yourself, I guess. Of course, it has a line of flowers and feathers. I guess that represents the Caribbean. I love flowers, particularly ivory flowers. A long, beautiful trail to follow. Very dramatic. I just love the piece that I wore tonight.
It was a very good show, very interesting presentation from DMarsh. I've seen his work before, and I was actually quite impressed by what I saw this evening.
I was born and raised in Jamaica, and the collection is DMarsh Couture. There's two collections, DM by DMarsh, which is the ready-to-wear collection, and the DMarsh Couture, which is the custom-made.
Hello everyone, this is Sanaya. I'm here to tell you about my very first Christmas reggae EP. The name of my EP is My Fabulous Christmas. It has songs like Jingle Bells, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, and Away in a Manger. You can find my EP on iTunes, Spotify, and all digital platforms. You have to go out and get my CD. It's to die for. You all have a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2020.
This week I'm going to be doing a pick of the guile, and this is going to be almost like you're doing a ground beef dish, but this is going to be served with some spinach rice. What do you know about that? I'm putting a little bit of twist to it. I'm also going to add some bourbon to it. Don't get it twisted in the kitchen. Keep it locked. Let's go cook something. In the kitchen. All you need is some ground beef, and your ground beef, nice. You can either buy your burger patty, and you can use that, or you can also go to your supermarket and buy your ground beef. They have it already crushed, and that is good. That's also perfect to use. I'm gonna go with a little bit of my salt and pepper. Just sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper, not too much. And I'm gonna go with some pepper flakes. Once again, not too much. And I'm gonna go with some Old Bay seasoning, because as you know already, I'm all about food supposed to be flavorful and food's supposed to be memorable. One of the other things that you can do too, with all these ingredients that's in your ground beef, you can actually turn this into a burger. It would be surprising to know that a lot of people don't know that. They think burger is just something you buy the ground beef and you're good, but you can add other ingredients to it and put it together. In other words, you can put your red pepper, your green pepper, your onion, your scallion, your garlic, all of that you can add to it and make yourself a nice burger. And they actually call that a Salisbury steak burger, because of all the ingredients that goes inside of it. We're gonna massage all the season in, and that's good. And from this point, you can leave this to marinate for probably about like 15-20 minutes in your refrigerator, and then we're gonna take it right over to our saute skillet and we're gonna put it together, and you're gonna see how this comes together so pretty. All right guys, so now this is the fun part. This is the part where we're gonna put everything together, and you're gonna be right there with me and you're gonna see how it all comes together. I have my pot already nice and hot. I'm gonna put my olive oil in, make him nice and hot, and then at this point I'm gonna now put my garlic in. And you gotta crush your garlic. Just crush your garlic out a little bit, not too much, just crush it a little bit. Or you can also purchase your garlic already come diced. And then I'm gonna go with my green pepper. Turn this down a little bit. And then I'm gonna go with my red bell pepper. I'm now gonna go with my scallion. I'm gonna go with my onion. Nice. And then at this point, I'm also gonna add my raisin. What do you know about that? All right, looking real good. I'm also gonna add my diced tomato. I'm gonna take a little bit of my Old Bay season. I'm gonna go with a little bit black pepper. I'm also gonna go with a little bit of pepper flakes. A little bit of pepper flakes, looking real good. And a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm gonna go with a little bit of garlic powder. Nice, beautiful. That's what I wanna see. This is a dish that you're definitely gonna enjoy because the raisin is gonna give it a nice little twist, a nice little sweet to it. I'm gonna add a little bit of liquid butter to help me bring out my flavor. Saute a little bit. And remember that I did say I'm gonna add a little bit of bourbon, because the bourbon is gonna blend in real perfect with my barbecue sauce. That flavor does that burn right into all the season. And now I'm gonna take my ground beef. I'm gonna put my ground beef in. And like I said, I'm gonna serve this with some spinach rice, some spinach coconut rice. This you don't have to cook for a long period of time, because as you know, the beef is gonna cook like real quick. And you can just imagine how much you're gonna enjoy this with your spinach rice. After this is almost finished cooked, that's when I'm gonna add my barbecue sauce in. Beautiful. Just wanna mash out your beef a little bit. Nice. When your meat is almost finished cooked, that's when you're gonna then add your barbecue sauce, which I think is right about now. Beautiful. We're just gonna allow this to cook for another, I'll say another 2 minutes, nice low flame. And when this is done, we're just gonna go right over the plating and presentation. We're gonna start with our dish now. This is the fun part of it. All right, looking good. Beautiful. Look how pretty that looks. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it right around the outside. Just like that. Presentation is the key. And at this point, you're just gonna lift your rice off. And there you go, guys. Ground beef, pick of the gallo, in the kitchen. Keep it locked. Catch you next week.
Your biggest hit is Skylarking. Tell the Come Chat With Me viewers how you came to write that song.
Well, as a youth man, we sit down in the corner and I always observe, I always observe. And the youths, them are always begging. Even me too. They get 5 cents, and it does come to me, man, through that inspiration, Rastafari and consciousness. It's really nice to be here, and I hope I come again after being up here for 15 years. I've been here, I've got children here, but I never come and sing. And it's really nice to know that I came tonight. I'm scared of playing, so I'm really lucky.
Come Chat With Me merchandise available now. Stay connected with Come Chat With Me. Thanks for watching Come Chat With Me. See you next week.